Hey guys, it's Caitlin Thompson here from the TransZen Explorer channel. So I just wanted to get down with some real talk with you guys. No script, no keywords that I'm trying to optimize in the search, just some good heart-to-heart talk. And one thing that I want to touch on that I think is really important to grasp in order to fully step into your full capacity as a brilliant, amazing human being. And that is what I have discovered as the real secret to growing, healing, and developing oneself as much as possible. And I'm going to tell you right now that this secret, it's not so much of a secret because I'm about to tell you, but it's not a modality. It's not a diet. It's not a therapy. It's not a supplement. It's not yoga. It's not 5-HTP. It's not a ketogenic diet. It's not neurofeedback training. Though all those things are great, don't get me wrong, and they can really be incredible tools to help you advance in your personal development and healing and growing process. But I'll tell you what the key thing is that I see in people, and this is what dictates whether certain people will break free of their own imprisonment or not. And what it is, what this secret ingredient is, you have to be honest with yourself. That's it. The best thing that you can do for your self-help, growth, personal development, and true alignment for the potential that you hold inside of you is to just be freaking honest with yourself. And also to forgive yourself for being imperfect, because the more honest that we are with ourselves, the more we're gonna have to acknowledge our drawbacks, our imperfections, our mistakes, the ways that we're falling short, the ways that we feel inadequate and perhaps are showing up inadequately. And I think for a lot of people, there's actually this dread around being honest with ourselves about how we may not feel that we're good enough, or maybe we aren't showing up good enough, based on the standards that we hold for ourselves. And for a lot of people, this can be really painful to admit. It's sometimes really hard to look at yourself and honestly say, you know what, you could be doing better, or you should be acting differently. You should be treating people differently. You need to be more thorough. You need to be more meticulous. You should care more. And sometimes it's really painful to realize that we're not doing our best. We're not living up to our full capacity. And I think it's this fear of being honest with ourselves and experiencing the pain, the shame, the guilt, the loss of feeling valuable, or that we're providing valuable, or perhaps we feel unlovable because we are these imperfect things. I think that's a lot of the times what is getting in the way of our ability to be honest with ourselves. But I'm going to tell you something else really important. As soon as we start being honest with ourselves, we actually empower ourselves tremendously, because once we get over the fear of the pain of realizing that we are shitty in some ways and have done shitty things, then we can actually take accountability for our own lives. We now have the power, because we also have the responsibility for our actions, for the ways that we show up. This is one of the most beautiful gifts that you can give yourself, is by taking accountability for why your life is the way that it is. Because once you do this, you have control. If everything in your life is the way it is because of your actions and your thoughts or your fault, that means that you have the power to do it differently, which is awesome. That means that at any point when you make a decision to be different and to change your life, you can. How fucking cool is that, right? So actually being honest with ourselves is so awesome, because suddenly we have all these magic powers, because we realize that we are in control of creating our own lives and our own destinies and our own thoughts and our own feelings, and our whole worldview is our creation. So with that, like I said, a key point to kind of fit into this idea of being radically honest with ourselves, this is really important. We also need to be radically compassionate for ourselves, because part of being honest with ourselves means that we also have to be there for ourselves, to remember that we have inherent value, and no matter how broken we may feel, no matter how frustrated we may be by our challenges and showing up the ways that we might want to, at the end of the day, you have to forgive yourself for being imperfect, for being human, for being unmotivated, for being whatever undesirable trait that you may be. Because guess what? We are all harboring those things in us. And the most important thing that you need to do, if you're going to be honest with yourself, which I hope that you will be, is to forgive yourself for your imperfections, for the mistakes that you will make that are actually fundamental for you becoming the best version of yourself. So practicing self-compassion, loving all versions of yourself in time. All past versions of yourself are worthy of your love and acceptance. They're worthy of everyone that you know's love and acceptance. Your present version of yourself is worthy of love and acceptance, and the future version of yourself is worthy of love and acceptance. And really coming to terms with the fact that no matter what you've done, who you are, what you said, what you did that day, there's always another chance to be someone different in 1 minute, in 1 day, in 1 hour, in 1 week. Every moment, every present moment, we get an amazing opportunity to make decisions about who we are. So who we were 5 minutes ago does not have to be who we are in 5 minutes from now. So your past self does not dictate your present self or your future self. So with this, it's okay to be honest with ourselves, because if we showed up in a way that was kind of shitty an hour ago, a day ago, a week ago, that doesn't define who we are. It doesn't define who we will be, and it certainly doesn't define whether or not you are worthy of receiving love and acceptance by those in your life, especially yourself. So when I say that the key to healing and developing and evolving is honesty, it must come with self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness for yourself and perhaps others. So don't worry too much about what the diet is, which supplements to take, which yoga class you're gonna take. Those are all minor details. They're just sprinkles on top of the cake. The most important thing that you need to do is start being honest with yourself. Am I acting in the ways that really honor the person that I want to be known as? Am I doing this action or behavior because of fear, because of anger, is there something motivating me that is not wholesome and not a good thing to be leading me through life to make decisions? Ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself these questions. Always question yourself so that you have the opportunity to be honest with yourself. Because sometimes we hide shit from ourselves. Sometimes it's hard for us to really acknowledge why we're doing something, why we're reactive, why we said that to that person, why we went ahead and ate a pint of ice cream. And if we're honest with ourselves, we can ask ourselves the questions with love. Why am I doing this right now? Why am I doing this? And what am I actually trying to fulfill for myself by doing this, by saying this, by acting in this way? What is it that I actually need right now that I don't feel that I have, that is driving me to behave in a way that is maybe not in alignment with the highest version of who I have the potential to be? So I invite you to ask these honest questions to yourself and to not feel ashamed when you catch yourself acting in a way that is being motivated by fear, by hurt, by pain, by anger, because you're human. We're all human. We all experience these emotions, and they're meant to drive us to behave in certain ways. But it's not always for the highest good for us to react to these emotions in the instinctive ways that we perhaps do sometimes, because we are better than that. We're more evolved than that, and we have the capacity with our prefrontal cortex and our higher selves to examine if these impulsive ways that we move through the world are actually serving us and helping create the life, the relationships, and the world that we ultimately want to be a part of. So I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope that when you start to develop a practice of being honest with yourself, that you'll also find compassion and forgiveness for yourself, because you will discover the ugly truths hiding underneath the lies and the suppressed feelings that we put up in order to protect ourselves from ourselves. But at the end of the day, just remember that past, present, and future version of you is perfect in the way that it is, and that every moment you have the opportunity to act in a way that represents the being that you strive to be in this world. So I love you guys. I hope that some of this may be insightful or helpful, or give you the courage to look deeper into yourself at some of the dark, ugly stuff that is weighing you down, because I believe in you and I know how brightly you can shine, and I hope that you find ease and grace in your journey into being the most beautiful, vibrant, and whole version of yourself possible. I love you guys. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you like this sort of stuff, or if you just want to learn about weird supplements that help you boost dopamine and shit like that. I do a lot of that too, but every once in a while I like to drop in and just give a little seeds of inspirational real talk. So love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. Mwah.